Hi everyone, it's Adrienne Leah. I wanted to make another video for this week and I figured I would do another impressions video on the Liminal Spirits Oracle by Laura Tempstis Zakroff. I'm sorry, I didn't say the creator of the Golden Girls Tarot, but this is one that I have seen on Amazon, and I was thinking about pre-ordering it as soon as I saw it, but luckily I didn't because I moved, and I was surprised that I saw it in the Barnes & Noble that I went to. It had a good selection there, so I was happy that I was seeing decks that I don't think that I would usually see in a Barnes & Noble. So, as I said, I really love getting the decks in person rather than ordering them. And so what drew me to this deck was that the artwork looks painted. I was reading the biography and the book about the artist, but it didn't say what type of supplies that she used for her deck. So I love using acrylic, and I'm thinking this could be watercolor or oil. And so this is what the inside looks like. I am going to tell you that I don't think I'll be using the book. I usually don't like using the books just because I only like using them if I like if I'm compatible with the writing style. And so I like to keep it around because I like going back to it, and then like I hear an interpretation that I like, and then I'll put it into my arsenal of interpretations that may come up in a reading, and I can remember that meaning behind a certain symbol or what the book was talking about, or being aware about those type of interpretations. So this is the book. And this is the inside. When you pick up the cards, well, there's a plastic band that comes with it when you get it. And this is the back. So my first card draw was the card that was actually in the bottom of the deck when I first got it, and I shuffled it, and that's what I got. So that was Gateway. And if you want to read about the author, and then she has her picture here. And I also feel like I was so drawn to it because, sorry, I don't know if I held it up long enough. From Rhode Island. And as I said in other videos, that I grew up in the Philly, New Jersey area, and then New England area. The pictures are fully, they cover a page, and then there's the meaning. And I did read the Gateway meaning. There's a note section also for the cards as well. And a bit of information with the structure of the deck because I noticed that in the contents they're sectioned off. This reminds me of the Everyday Witch Oracle structure. Not that you need to use the Everyday Witch structure, but it's there if you want to use it. This one, it just seems like it was sectioned based off of what the card is. And I really like how it's symbols in the cards. It kind of reminds me, but it isn't like a card of, like Lenormand, but I know it's not. And just with the specific cards, and I really enjoy the pagan symbols because that's another reason why I connected to the cards besides the artwork and the painted look to them. So I haven't really looked through the cards. I did shuffle them. And I'll pull out a card and I'll read the meaning of the card from the book. I'll give my own interpretation before that. So this one's the one that I got earlier. It also reminds me of there was an oracle deck that had an Egyptian symbol on the box, and it was red, and I traded that deck off because I didn't connect to it that well, because I don't really work with those types of practices, but I like to be aware of them too, because I connect a lot to the Celtic practices, and also I was really interested and still am in the Japanese practices too. I really love the color of it. I know it reminds me of a mustard color, but I didn't really want to describe it like that because it's a beautiful picture, and I didn't know if that was the best description of what the card is, but I really love the picture. And this one looks kind of like a butterfly in the middle too. I like the close-up imagery as well. I also have a lot going on in my brain, so if I just pause and then I'm just looking at the card for a couple seconds and I'm not even saying anything, that's why. I don't have a planner, but my friend gave me, well, my childhood best friend gave me her book that she wasn't using, and it was, sorry, I'm seeing if that's a bug on the floor. But I saw a spider the other day, so I'm not sure if that's what it is. But she gave me a notebook, and I'm so smitten by it because I'm a lefty and I also write small, and I don't like writing with lines because I feel like I don't need to write with lines, and I also like stuff that makes it easier for me to write, because usually stuff is formatted for a right-handed person, which is fine because when you grow up with that, you adapt to the, like, desks and stuff and can openers. So a little random, but I like to list stuff. I don't really use calendars because I like just crossing stuff off, and I don't really give myself sometimes I don't give myself a set day when I'm doing something, and sometimes I do. So then I just list it and cross it out when I'm finished. And what's amazing about the book is that I'll just show you. I'll be right back. So, back to what I was saying about the bugs. Sorry, it's all over the place. But I'm in it's kind of a basement, but it isn't a basement. And this is the movie room, if you could see in the back. So, the place, I know I have a lot of stuff, but I just have a lot of my things because this is where I'm staying for a little bit. And I didn't specify mid-August is when I'm going to my place. And so, sometimes I get some of those things here, but just a little bit of show and tell. So this is the book that she gave me. She said that she had it for years and she wasn't using it. She uses a planner. I've always done stuff in a different way, not intentionally, because I try to do stuff other people's way, and sometimes it doesn't work for me because I do things in a strange way. So it opens up like this, and I did have, over the years, I used to get a specific leather book that tied around like this, but I couldn't refill it. That's why I kept getting new ones. But this is the inside. I don't mind this part, but I like the flexibility in this too because I put it in my bag, and I can put different paper. This one is more of a tanned parchment, so it's just incredible for me. And I have some of my stuff in here, but it's also, well, I don't know if you can see the compass and the steering wheel. It's also work-related stuff because I fill out applications for clients at a mortgage company right now, and then eventually I'll process them. So I have information about certain things for the job. And this is the type of pen that I use. I know it's random, but I like using these. It's the RSVPs, and it's fine point because I find pens that don't smudge because I'm going over my writing with my hands. And also I like them because I can do pen tricks with this one. It doesn't look as cool when I'm doing it on camera, but it's just something to do when I'm working. So it has a nice weight, and then there's also length to it because that makes it easier. It's almost, I guess, if you're twirling a drumstick, but at a different weight, and it's a smaller object. So I am into stationery, but I don't really get a lot of stuff because I like keeping what I have, and I have consistency with what I get. So now this will be a constant for me since I can refill it, and it's exciting. I know it might not be exciting for a lot of people, but that's a favorite of the month if I were to have a favorite. So it's interesting with the metal one. It's almost in a forming state. And so I didn't really make comments on any of the cards. But I feel like it's one of those decks that you just look at and something stands out to you in the cards. Generally how a lot of decks are, but it reminds me of how I read the Circle of Life Tarot, the first edition, because there's a newer version out that has a purple background, and it has a different coloring to it. The one that I have is softer, so it depends what you like. So this also, the concept reminds me of the Divas of Creation, DEVAS. And I know Kasha from Tarot Map, she has shown that deck too. And the concept of the deck that I have, it's the same creator as the it's a collage deck. But it has pictures of certain things like babyer, wild, creation, space. I like decks that have that concept. And it seems like a given for this forest green color. It's one of my favorite colors to use. And the bottom, it's almost like water. This one you can see a lot of texture in. I really love how she included herbs here. English mandrake. I like how there's a void. This is one that you wouldn't usually see in a deck, but I love how they have this card, or how she put it in here too. This looks like a turkey oak, turkey leaves. And the text is light on some of them, so it's nice. Because maybe you don't want to see the words in a reading sometimes. And so, like soul cards. The eyes are really interesting to me. Because they're in the picture, or they're within the nature. For some of them you can see more like the mandrake one, but it still looks more naturalized, and even with the mushroom card too. And the pictures are so captivating for me. I was thinking if I had to change positions because my foot was falling asleep. Okay. A lot of different symbols in here and spirals. A lot of roots. Oh. And for Mary Gray's ruse in here, so that's fun. I think if you like witchy themed cards, you really love this deck for the choices. I love this card too. And I would say this is one of the most captivating cards that I've seen, because there's a depth to it. I love toads. They're one of my favorite guides to have. I wear a toad necklace, and I had a toad stuffed animal that I was thinking about replacing because I gave it to my dog, one of my dogs, and she was using it, so I figured that maybe I could get another one, but I don't think I'm going to. But I used to like having that one around too. Now I have a dragon that John got for me at Build-A-Bear. I love the face of the fish. And they're nice big cards. The warmth also reminds me of the Goddess Dream Oracle, and it's one of my top Oracle decks. It says everything, and I really love the guidebook, so I keep it around when I'm doing a reading. I love the looks like tribal symbols on the cat. This one's also has an intensity to it. And I really love the owl in here because usually it's drawn more, it's not that this isn't more serious, but it seems like this one has more of a softer expression on the face. And as I was saying, I love the close-ups because I love the close-up of the snail. I'm gonna say I love all the cards. I love the hair, the colors, and the painting is well done. And the goat. I really love when decks don't give the goat a bad reputation because I like goats. They're one of the ones that I like, one of my go-to animals. So I prefer not to have them on the devil card. But if it's on the devil card, then I don't mind it. And I really love the peacock in here because it's not so in your face, especially with when it gets its feathers out, because sometimes it gives me anxiety with the peacock feathers. The cards are complex and they have cards that you wouldn't normally see in a deck, like fiber and clay. This one's bone. And I appreciate the pagan theme with this. I love the fox. It's my fairy counterpart that my goddess gifted me. The counterpart that helps me when I'm in the realm. So interesting in the best way. And I love the walnuts. Like, so I'll pull out a card and I'll read the meaning out of the, well, I'll say my meaning and then I'll read the card meaning. First I'll pull out one card and I got honeybee. And it feels like my energy because I feel like there's a lot going on and I'm kind of getting scatterbrained at some parts because I have to tend to different things more than I did before. And even on the body, it does feel like there is not distress, but just feeling the exhaustion of it because I'm not used to it. But more and more, I'm getting adjusted. And what makes it better is that I love the northeast weather. Even though it's summer, just seeing the scenery, and it still feels cooler up here. So I'll pull out the two more cards, and then I'll read for Honeybee. So for the past, I have the Burial Ground, so it seems like things are still unfinished, which they are. And then for the future, I have the Mugwort one. And with this one, I'm getting, be careful not to exceed limits. Generally, it is a hallucinogenic herb. So, and clearing, because there's heavier energy as well. So things will be lightening up. Oh, and there's recommend resources for further study in the back in case you guys want to look at that, and writing to the author. And the number for that is 111 for the page. And I didn't show there's quite a bit of note space. I was thinking there was. No, I showed the page of notes. I thought there was 3 at first. Or secondly, because I just saw something. So for the honeybee, the diminutive honeybee has been a mighty impact on the world around her. The pollination of the plants she visits provides nourishment for other animals while contributing to her own family. Every bee in the hive has a role to play that ensures the continuity of the tribe, whether collecting pollen from flowers, building the honeycomb, tending the progeny, or protecting the hive. All duties are important and worthy of respect. The honeybee truly understands the meaning of community, organization, and teamwork, as well as the sweet rewards of hard work. Messages. We tend to separate ourselves into work and play, important and frivolous things, just as the honeybee flies from flower to flower, pollinating all the way. We can find joy in the work we do and the meaning of color and artistry of life. Communication is essential in harmony within the family or community. It is not open to one person to make everything work, but all the individuals combined. Respect the role of each member can play in their own right. Cross-pollination is essential for growth and prosperity, making some of the best nectar life has to offer. Excuse skewed concepts of purity for the divine revelation of diversity. So I think I connect to the deck more when I don't use the book, so I'll be storing it, and I'm not sure if I still have my boxes, but maybe I might store the boxes for when I go to my place, because I feel bad because I don't want to keep them, but I also don't want to get rid of them because it was part of the price to pay to get them. So thank you guys so much for watching. I was gonna say something. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was interesting, and I'll see you in another video.